Hey everybody, welcome to another con support video. This is going to be on order of operations. So this is the order of operations assignment. So I'm going to click on that and we'll go through that together. I'm going to move this over here and I'm going to bring up the window for the worksheet. Let me see if I can do that. Where's that? Oh, what happened there? Did I go back? There we go. Let's see if I can go get that. Alt tab. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right, so here's the order of operations. There we go. A little technical difficulties, but I think we're getting it eventually sorted out. Let me see if I can get this light on top. Okay, it's a little blocky, but hey. All right, so we're going to do this one here. So I'm going to copy it down onto the paper, and then we'll kind of go through it one step at a time. So this one is, all right, black here for you guys. Number one that we're doing, it's going to be 8 to the third power minus 9 times 2 divided by 3. Okay, so let's kind of focus on this one right here. Let me maximize that. I can minimize it. All right, so the first thing you're going to do here is look for addition or subtraction outside of parentheses so we can identify our terms. So I see that subtraction sign that's outside of parentheses, which means that I'm looking at a two-term expression here. I got this blue term in front, and I've got this pink value here on the back side. And then we're going to work through and get the value for each term. So the blue term is going to be 8 to the third power, and 8 to the third power is just 8 times 8 times 8, right? So it's the base number times itself 3 times. So that's going to be 8 times 8 times 8, which is 64 times 8. And 64 times 8 is going to be 8 times 4, which is 32. And 8 times 6, which is 48, plus 3, which is 51. So 8 to the third power is going to be the value of 512. So that's worth 512. And we're going to be subtracting from that whatever this pink value is over here. Now, when we look at the pink value, you're going to use PEMDAS, right? So I see that we've got multiplication, division. Those happen at the same time from left to right. So when you think about PEMDAS, multiplication, division, M and D, same time left to right, addition, subtraction, same time left to right. So we're going to do this from left to right. We're going to do 9 times 2, and then take that value and divide it by 3. So 9 times 2 happens first, you get 18, and then you're going to divide that by 3, and 18 divided by 3, still working in that term, is 6. So that means we know that the value there is going to be 6. So really what we're looking at here is 512 take away 6. Now what is 512 take away 6? That's going to be 506. So the answer for this first problem should be 506. So you put in 506 and hit enter. Okay, let me increase the size of this so it's a little easier for you guys to see as we move forward. All right, and then we get the next question. This one says match each expression to its exponential form. Okay, well that one's interesting. So, all right, so they're basically asking you which of these is going to be the exponential form that's the same value as the original. So 4 squared over 2 squared. Well, that's going to be the same as 4 squared, which is 16, over 2 squared, which is 4. And what's 16 divided by 4? That's going to be 4. So that's going to be a value of 4. This one, you're going to do the parentheses first. So 8 minus 4 is 4. And then 4 times 4 is 16. Now, 16 is the same as 4 to the second power. So that's going to work perfectly. So this value is 16, and so is this. 2 squared plus 2 squared, well, that's going to be 4 plus 4 because you do the exponents first, right? That's 4 plus 4, which is 8, so that works out perfectly. So this all matches nicely, and now you're done. Okay, let's go to the next one. It says evaluate the following expression, 8 plus 8 over 1 to the 4th. So let's just take a look at this one. Bring back my little notes here. So the second one we're going to do here is this one. It's 8 plus 8 over 1 to the 4th. So let me write that out. 8 plus 8 over 1 to the 4th power. Okay? And so once again, when we look at this, this is a two-term expression. So we're going to highlight our separator, which is the addition or subtraction outside of parentheses. We've got a, let's do a green this time. We've got a green value of 8, and we're adding to that the, let's say, pink value of 8 over 1 to the 4th power. So we're going to work in the green value first. 8 is just worth 8, so that's pretty easy. So we know that the value of that is going to be 8. We're going to be adding to that, let me make that green. We're going to be adding to that the value of 8 over 1 to the fourth. Now, when we do 8 over 1 to the fourth, you guys can think of that as the quantity of 8 divided by the quantity of 1 to the fourth. So really, we're going to do the top value to the bottom value, and then do top divided by bottom. So what is 1 to the fourth power? Well, 1 to the fourth power is just 1 times itself 4 times, which is 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. So basically that's 1, right? Anything 1 times anything is itself, so it's just going to stay 1. So this is worth 1. So really this is worth 8 over 1. And we all know that 8 over 1 actually has a value of 8. So that means that this is really going to be 8 plus 8. And I think we all know that 8 plus 8 is 16. So let's color code that nicely again for you guys. So that's going to be 16. So you're going to put 16 here and then move on. All right. The next one that you're going to do is, okay, this one's more interesting. Let's take a look at this one. So let's scroll down so we have more room to write. And we're going to copy it over. I'm just going to scooch this to the right here. And we've got this problem here, number 3. I'm going to put here. And this is going to be 2 to the 8th power minus 10 minus 15 divided by 3. And so once again, you're going to look for your addition or subtraction outside of parentheses as your separators. So we got that subtraction sign there, and we got this subtraction sign right there. So we've got 3 terms here. You get the value of 2 to the 8th. You get the value of, let's do that in pink, let's say, the value of 10. And then we get the value of, let's do that in blue, 15 divided by 8, okay? And we're going to just look at each of these terms, each of these colors, and find its value, and we're going to subtract with our operations. So now we're going to go through and do the green value here. Let's do that green value. 2 to the 8th. That's kind of tricky. It's 2 times 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 2, right? It's 8 twos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 twos times each other. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 2 is 16. So really, this is the same as 16 times 16, right? Which is 16 squared. And so when we look at 16 times 16, you guys maybe have that memorized, maybe you don't. But if you multiplied it out, you would get 256. All right, so that's worth 256. So that green value there is 256. You're going to be subtracting the pink value. The pink value is obvious, it's 10. So that's going to be taking away 10. And then you're going to be subtracting this blue value, whatever the blue value is. Now, 15 divided by 3 is a value of 5. So really what you're talking about here is 256, take away 10, take away 5. And if we scroll down here, we're going to change our subtraction into addition. And we rewrite this, we're going to see that that's the same thing as saying 256 plus negative 10 plus negative 5, right? Or you could do it 2 at a time, take away 10, then take away 5. Either way, what you really have here is 256 plus negative 15. Right? In other words, you're going to take 15 away from 256. The positive is going to win by how much? Well, 256 minus 15 is going to be take away 10, 246, take away 5, 241. So you're looking at 241 is your answer there. So you could do it 2 at a time. You could do it scoreboard like I kind of did, a virtual scoreboard there, putting your positives together and negatives together. Either way, you get the same answer, right? If you subtracted 10, you get 246. Now subtract 5, you're going to get 241. So the answer here is 241. So you're going to put 241 and enter. On the next one, you've got a question where they're going to ask you, order the expressions from least to greatest. Okay, great. So you got to find the value of each of these. Let's just talk about it. So 5 squared is worth 25. 4 squared plus 2 squared, you're going to do the exponents first. That's going to be 4 times 4, which is 16. And 2 times 2, which is 4. So it's going to be 16 plus 4, which is 20. So this one's worth 20. We want the smallest one on the left. So it looks like this one's smaller than 5 squared. This is worth 20. This is worth 25. This one here is 6 squared minus 6. Now 6 squared is 6 times 6, which is 36. You do the exponents before you subtract. This is 36 minus 6, which is going to be 30. So what we have here is a value of this, which is going to be 20, value of this, which is 25, and this value, which is 30. So that is in order from least to greatest, so we're good to go. Okay, next up, oh good, we can do this one on our little whiteboard here and practice the order of operations a little bit. So let's mark it down. This one is going to be, I think it's number 4, I don't remember. So it's going to be 4 times 6 divided by 2 to the third. Now, do you see any addition or subtraction outside of parentheses? I don't, which means that this whole thing is one term. So if you were to think about marking it up in terms of terms, like literally this whole thing is one term. So you work all at once. And so working all at once here, we're just going to apply PEMDAS to this. So you all hopefully remember PEMDAS, parentheses first, then exponent, then multiply and divide at the same time from left to right, then add and subtract at the same time from left to right. So I've got multiplication, division, and exponents. Which one happens first? The exponents, right? We're going to check off that exponents. We do it first. So we get 4 times 6 divided by whatever 2 to the third power is. Well, 2 to the third power is 2 times 2 times 2. That's 4 times 2, which is 8. So we're going to get 8 there. All right. Now we've got multiplication and division. They happen at the same time from left to right. So because they happen at the same time from left to right, we're literally going to go left to right. So what is 4 times 6? 24. And what is 24 divided by 8? And that's going to be 3. So the answer here is worth 3. And then last but not least, we got this one here. Let's kind of bring this up. All right, and we're going to scooch down, and we'll do the fifth problem, I think. I think it's the fifth problem. And we'll mark it up carefully and show you guys the process. So you have 10 to the 7th power plus 9 plus 1 to the 3rd power. And that's it. So first things first, identify your addition or subtraction outside of parentheses. Those are your separators. This is a 3-term expression, right? There's 3 things being added together. The value of these terms we have to figure out. There's the green term, which is 10 to the 7th. There's a blue term, which is the value of 9. And then there's this pink term, which is the value of 1 to the 3rd power. Let's work in each of these terms. So 10 to the 7th just means 10 times itself 7 times, which basically means when you have power of 10 raised to the 7th power, it's going to be a 1 with 7 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because every time that you times 10 by itself, you're going to move the decimal place 1 to the right. So you can think of it as 1 times 10 to the 7th, right? And that's going to be the same as 1.0 times 10 to the 7th. When you multiply by 10 to the 7th, you're going to move the decimal place 7 places to the right. So you're going to go literally past the 0, right? And then you're going to go another 6 more times. So you're going to have this 1 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because you're going to move it like 1, 2, 3, 7 places to the right. So that's going to be this value here, which is like 10 million, right? I think it's 10 million, yeah. This is going to be thousands. This is going to be millions. 10 million. So this is worth 10 million. The green is worth 10 million. It's quite large. So you have this value of 10 million. Okay, cool. And then what are you going to add to that value? Well, you're going to add 9 to it. Fair enough. That's the blue value there. So let me put in blue so we don't get confused with our colors. And then you've got this value of 1 to the 3rd. Now, 1 to the 3rd is just going to be 1 times 1 times 1. And so what's that worth? That's worth 1, right? So what you actually have here is you have 10 million plus 10, right? Because 9 plus 1 is 10, so you're adding 10 to it. So it's 10 million and 10. So you're literally looking at 10 million and 10. And that's your answer. So you're going to go over here and you can put in 10, and then 3 zeros, and then a 0, and then 1 0. And that's your answer. So, yeah, that's how you do the problems. Let's see if I can stop sharing now.